First of all, I'm really excited about what we have in store for DOE within the next school year, because we're actually replacing our financial management system. That's a big, big project. And so with that, we should do a lot better with our audit findings, because we would be able to clearly show how we are managing our funds, and then the reporting requirements would be far more transparent, so that almost anyone can take a look at what we're spending our money on. So that's very exciting, but that's also really big. But in order to implement big projects like that, and also implementing the performance management contract, the new law that was just passed, which would allow us to privatize management of our facilities and maintenance, then you actually need to ensure that you have the human resources in place to be able to carry this out. What I had learned as a superintendent is that with the current management structure, where the superintendent has 3 deputies, one of the deputies actually oversees 41 schools, 41 school principals, and the schools being that's where we actually carry out our mission, and ensuring that we're preparing students for life. That what I've learned is that we really need to restructure the management team so that there's more support and supervision provided to the school principals. 41 schools is really a lot for one person. And research has shown that the smaller the units and the smaller the clusters of schools, the more improved the communication is, and the better opportunities there will be for the supervisor to provide support to the school. So the question that is always being raised right now, with that, noting that we were lacking that area, is, well, does that mean that you're going to add additional deputies and more people into the management positions? And clearly you would need to add. If our mission is to ensure that all of our students are prepared for life, then we need to ensure that appropriate support is provided to the schools. Central office and the support divisions is one thing. And you can do all of your, do all of the work that we need to do in order to improve the management of our cash. And I think we're really making headway here. But where we need to focus on is really the schools. And so with that, the superintendent should have a direct line to the supervisors for the school. So my suggestion is really to divide the schools. If you have 41, then divide it up into 4. And one of those schools is an alternative school, so it can fall under one of the other supervisors. I'm not sure the extent to which, what positions would be suggested, but I am suggesting that there would be more support provided for this at the school level.
It would be much more effective, though.
Yeah, I believe so. And if, the classrooms, it really needs more support. And that doesn't mean that you just have individuals walking around, but the leaders at the school level have communicated to me consistently that they really want more communication. They want more visits. And it's just pretty tough when you only have one person doing that. With the financial aspect, I believe that we have enough funding in place so that when we implement the new system, a big part of that is training. And so we can actually provide a lot of resources for training. What we need is our individuals not to come in and do a little bit of training. We need individuals who know the system to be embedded in DOE for at least 18 months, 18 to 24 months. If you're implementing something new, you have to treat it like you would treat teaching students something new. You introduce a concept, then you need to provide them guided practice, and then provide them the opportunity to demonstrate that they can do it on their own. What had occurred in the past when we had the financial management system more than 20 years ago, and Tallinn was one of those who helped to implement it, was that we had a little bit of training, then we were left on our own. And so that wasn't enough to give us the kind of technical knowledge and the skills to actually put it into place and to implement it. This is a big item. This to me is a implementing the financial management system can be the turning point for us to get off high risk. And this is a once in a lifetime opportunity to have the funding for this. So we need to do this right. I have a lot of confidence in Talling's ability, our Deputy of Finance and Administrative Services. I have a lot of confidence in her, but she does need help. And so we have that, and we have the third party in place. That's really working out well, not because they're providing oversight, but they're also helping us to move along and really demonstrating some very good management skills that we're picking up from them. And so it's a partnership rather than oversight. And so that's actually turning out real well. So in short, what I'm saying is that we have these big items that we're trying, the performance management contract for facilities and maintenance. We have the new financial management system. And we are also under curriculum, we're implementing our new standards-based assessment, which we have been working on for years. And so 3 major areas, you will need to provide the appropriate support for this to be successful. It's analogous to the plane taking off. When the plane takes off, it uses a lot of gas, a lot of energy. And so that's the same thing for these big projects. The performance management contract for for facilities, the financial management system, and then our standards-based assessment that everyone has been waiting for. You need to provide appropriate support, and it's going to cost money.
Right. Well, speaking of money, I know that the board has approved the budget. They went through for DOE. That's going to obviously go through the legislative process. DOE every year, the latest audit even showing that, is you all are cut money every single year, but yet your mandates the overcrowding situation, you're getting more students, etc. The budget will probably be one of the last things you work on in your time as superintendent. What do you see, or how do you see this process going for the coming fiscal year, knowing the needs of the schools, knowing everything as far as this financial management system, all these components that are going to be put in place?
Well, the first responsibility that the new superintendent would have to carry out is minimizing the impact of whatever budgetary shortfall we might experience as a result of the overall economic condition of our island. Let's face it, we do know everyone is suffering one way or another. And so the challenge here always for the superintendent is to minimize the impact in the classroom. And we try to do the best we can to protect the classroom. And so what we need to do is to ensure that we fully make use of the millions of dollars that are made available to us through our consolidated grant. We have close to 40 million that we can use to supplement the classroom. And so I believe that if we make use of that, we would be able to minimize the impact to the classroom. But, at the end of the day, federal funds are used to supplement. They can't supplant. They can't take the place of what local government is supposed to provide. So I know that they will probably cross-level. They're going to try to maximize, but at the end of the day, there's only so much you can cut. And in education, especially when you have underage students that you have to supervise, you need supervision. You just can't decrease the number of employees. And about 85 to 90% of our budget are employees. So where are you going to cut? If you cut in utilities, they're going to cut off your power. And so, there's very little room for for Department of Education to cut when it comes to carrying out its mission.